hanging with Web Show TV's Bargain Basement Studio in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. It's Pillow Talk with Willow Schuyler.
Will you take me to Winnipeg?
I will, someday. Toronto, Montreal, Quebec, Winnipeg.
Now what's this guy doing up here in Manitoba?
He was holding the map up.
Every salvage mission that's been through this system has disappeared. Even those old pirates out at Winnipeg Drift say it's cursed.
Cursed. Winnipeg's got a great ballet. Have a good time, I swear to God.
Sweet guinea pig of Winnipeg! They've taken over our company!
Balderdash! I never agreed to that!
I should have stayed in Winnipeg, you know? I had a nice gallery, 3 paintings in the wall.
Are you kidding? And you look back. Born home, Quebec. Drafted out of the juniors in the 5th round to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Played for a year with the Leafs, then traded to the Winnipeg Jets, then to Calgary, then to Boston.
Wow.
So Winnipeg must get pretty cold up there.
That's it! Back to Winnipeg!
Hey everyone, it is Willow's Pillow Talk. I am your host, Willow Schuyler. With me today is Cara Nicole and her manager, Lisa. I am so excited to talk to you guys about what you guys do. I'm a cosplay fan. I'm not exactly a professional cosplayer, so but I look forward to talking to you, Cara, about your cosplay stuff. So, how did you two meet?
At a con.
So we were at Springfield doing a small con down there, and Cara was down there, and I think Alfred was down there too.
No, Alfred was not down there.
No, okay, Alfred wasn't down there that time.
Yeah, no, I was on my own.
But yeah, she was rocking her table, and she came over and visited with us, and I ended up kind of just chatting with her a little bit, and we did a project with that company and with Lady Death, and that was for Lady Death Last Stand. And that was really cool. So she got to come out to Chicago and do E2E2 with us at our booth and cosplay for us as Lady Death for the whole weekend. So we just had a blast. We were just two gal pals just hanging out. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome. What cosplay how long have you been cosplaying for?
Yeah.
I started cosplaying in late 2010.
Okay.
With got a hair in my mouth. With a little group and doing events and that sort of thing. And then it was like, hey, are you going to be at this con? Are you going to be at that con? And it just kind of snowballed into everything. I ended up working for Marvel Comics at San Diego. I ended up working with Crusadel Comics for a while. I was, doing a lot of their booth work. And then I started doing some editing for them. And it just kind of snowballed into everything. I worked with other creators doing writing, cosplay. And then in 2012, Alfred Trujillo, who I was working with, said that I could put out my own book. So we put out my own cosplay photo book, and it was like an artist sketchbook, except it was cosplay. Oh, wow. And I was one of the few, cosplayers really didn't get their own tables or buy their own tables. They were usually at a friend's table who was an artist or whatever. And I was like, I'm going to buy my own table. And I kind of followed the artist way of doing things, buy my tables, sell my prints, sell my books. And, and I was getting, I don't see any other cosplayers with tables. Yeah, it was so weird. A cosplayer, what are you doing with a table? Cosplayers are supposed to be out wandering around in costume or, hanging with an artist. And I just kind of put myself out there like the artists do. And it just kind of trickled and snowballed and did its thing.
Yes. That is awesome. And yeah, I know because 2010, around that time, 2009 was when cosplay started becoming popular, and still nobody really knew what cosplay was. And how did you manage to get like sorry, wow.
That's okay.
Brain fart. How did you get away from like how did you get into the mainstream of cosplay?
So I think for me, it was going to conventions. Everyone has their own way of doing it. You know, some people get very famous very quickly on the internet. Some people have a friend. You know, get that one person that posts you, you know, or you get that unicorn. It's called a unicorn when you have that one post that just goes out and everyone loves it, and it's like the one that gets like 1 million views. And I didn't get any of that. I didn't have a unicorn. I went old school, knocking on doors, trying to sell everyone a vacuum cleaner old school, you know, going to conventions, meeting people, talking to people. Mark Holmes right there. I literally snatched him off the con floor and said, "You, come here, you're mine now." And I went and I met people face to face.
Okay. Yeah, networking is amazing at conventions, and for me, like, I have no problems being the booth babe. I will help my friends out with. I've helped one of my friends was with the 501st, and we did a lot of convention stuff with him. I dressed up as Princess Leia, though I stay away from the gold bikini. My husband wants me to wear it, but I don't think I'm there with my body image just yet to wear the gold bikini. But the white dress, I'm all for. So I do that, and I help out my friend's booth, who is a DJ. So that. I love it. I absolutely love it. And one of these days, I'm hoping to get Mad Moxie going. So I look forward to. I'm trying to get into like the more sexier cosplays, but still trying to find my image, trying to get comfortable with my image. How did you you seem very comfortable with your body image. I'm sure that was a lot of work for you. So
I'll tell you the secret. Don't look in the mirror.
Okay.
Seriously. Okay. Like when you do your makeup and stuff, you know, you look in the mirror, but you're focused. You're like, keep the puzzle pieces all separated.
Yeah.
Have that friend that says, "Oh, you know, fix your hair right here. All right, you know, get that out of here too. No toilet paper hanging out. Yeah, that's my girl. That's my Lisa right there." You know, otherwise, don't look in the mirror, because you are not the image that you see in the mirror. Because we will always see ourselves as something different, and we're going to get a little deep here.
Okay.
You know, especially for people that have, you know, like low self-esteem or that feel bad about themselves. "Oh, I'm such a terrible person." Okay, what makes you so damn special that you have to be held to a higher standard than anybody else? What makes you so damn special? Treat yourself at least as well as you treat your dog. So, you know, and if you think that you need to be held to a higher standard than what you have other people be at, you need to ask yourself why. Or what, are you so great? Like, are you running shit around here that you have to be held to this higher standard? No, you're a person just like everybody else, and you deserve the same breaks that you give everyone else. You deserve to forgive yourself. You deserve to treat yourself as lovingly as you treat other people. You would never tell somebody, "You know what, you look kind of fat for that. So why would you do that to you?"
No.
You know, it's cruel. So give yourself a break. Don't look in the mirror. Let inside of you come out. Now, unfortunately for me, inside of me is a big loudmouth that, you know, I'm like, I go through a lot of shoes because I end up swallowing them, I think. You know, I'm a big old loudmouth, and that's my problem.
I think you and I would get along very well in the convention, like at a convention. Yes, I'm very much a loudmouth myself too. So, I dressed up. I do dress up as Elvira, and I saw the pictures on your Instagram, and I'm just like, oh, another Elvira cosplayer.
Did you see the music video?
Yes, I love it.
I did the Monster Mash as Elvira.
You do a great job as Elvira, though. Like,
yeah.
Well, so I had that tight pleather dress for part of it, for the part with the microphone, and it got stuck. And I started to feel like claustrophobic. I was terrified, and I was like, to point, cut it off, just cut it off, just cut the dress off, just cut it off me.
Yeah,
cut it off, but I was like,
My first Elvira costume, I literally sewed myself into it, like the bra and everything. So yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that was interesting, and I'm so glad that I got the new dress that I don't have to do that too. But yeah, we learn different skills when it comes to cosplay throughout our time. So I'm so glad I don't have to do that anymore.
What do you do for cosplay?
I actually learned quite a bit. I did her scythe for Lady Death, and it was amazeballs. But it was a project in itself, just working with like paper clay and sanding stuff down and like getting the right type of paint job on it so it looks like it's old. It looked all beat up and everything. I'm like, it's not all smooth. I'm like, wait a minute. This is how it looks when it's painted, and it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It just turned out really cool. It's just a lot of fun to be creative.
It's fun. Like I'll try to bring my husband into the cosplay world, and he's worked on my sickle for my Mask of the Phantasm costume. I'm a huge Batman fan, so when I got a chance to do the Phantasm for Mask of the Phantasm, I'm just like, this is happening. This has got to happen. So I got my husband to do the sickle, and it turned out really good. I have to rework it, but oh my god, it's just questions are starting to come in. So I'll shut up for a little bit. There is a question here. What is your first cosplay? What was your first Power Girl?
Yeah. That's how I ended up with AZ Power Girl, just because that was my first cosplay back in the day of, I don't want anyone to know who I am.
I actually just recently did Power Girl a couple of years ago, and I didn't do the boob window, and and one of my friends gave me shit for it. It was hilarious.
Oh, you would totally rock that boob window. I'm gonna be like, okay, now I'm on your page. I'm gonna go snooping through your stuff.
You know what? I just didn't feel like ruining the bodysuit that I had bought from Amazon, so it's like, one of these days I'll do it.
So, I actually did do the one without the boob window for children's events and like movie premieres and that sort of thing. So yeah, no, it actually is a legitimate. I'm loving your belt. That belt is sick. That's a great belt.
It's the Batman belt from like the Dark Knight.
That's awesome.
Oh, there's your Elvira. Yeah, you're totally rocking the cosplay. That's amazing. We got to get Lisa doing some more cosplay.
Oh, I know. I'm usually the one behind the camera taking the pictures. Yeah. So, but I definitely love to cosplay and dress up and do fun stuff. But Halloween's one of my favorite holidays. So, I actually have done like cosplay, like Doctor Who cosplay for Halloween, and people are like, "What are you doing, Doctor Who? You don't know what that is?" I'm like, "Oh God."
Now I don't know where you got those gloves for your Power Girl. Those are sweet.
I find a lot of stuff on Amazon, so it's I try to find stuff locally, but when it costs like $40 for a pair of gloves, I'm just like, I'll find something cheaper. I'm very much a cosplay on the budget kind of person.
Oh yeah, Lisa and I know all about that one too. Now this is you got gem. Is that what this is? Yes, it's gem, isn't it?
I made my belt out of like some leather that I got from a friend. So yeah,
Wow.
I do like I don't consider myself I don't consider myself professional by any means, but I love the fact that there are professional cosplayers that inspire me to get better with my craft. I'm really I don't sew any of my stuff, which is I don't make any of my costumes. I buy them all or modify them from other outfits. Do you sew?
I do. So does Lisa.
Yeah.
But I don't make everything because I am not what I call a cos snob. I don't think that you have to shear the sheep and loom the wool. Oh, I made everything. Bitch, you make your underwear? I don't think so. You make those shoes? Maybe. Probably not. I don't think that there's any purpose in shaming someone who doesn't make everything because it's cosplay, not coscraft. It's not a part of it. We're having fun. I do make a lot of things. I do modify a lot of things. I will go to thrift stores. I'll be like, I like this fabric that's on this dress, especially like you start getting into like the men's really, really big stuff, because that's a good way to get a lot of fabric real cheap, like worn leather, that sort of stuff. And, I will modify things. I will cut things up. I will use them as patterns. Clothes that maybe have a hole in it or whatever that I know fit well. I will cut that bitch up and use it as a pattern. So, I do what I want.
And reusing. I know that we reused one of your corsets for the Jessica Rabbit dress. We actually found this perfect sequin fabric. We happened to be at Joann's and we walked right by and I was like, oh, we were just talking about this, and it was like kismet. So
yeah. Oh, awesome. Where is your go-to for outfits? Do you build your own?
So like I said, it depends. There's a lot of really great places that sell costumes now. It used to be you just had Rubies and a lot of their stuff was like rubbery and kind of weird, but there's a lot of cosplay companies now, especially when you're dealing with the Zentais, like the bodysuits, where it's cheaper just to get, if you want to be Spider-Man, just order a Spider-Man suit and then you can modify it. So I do a lot of everything. If there's something that is just not available or doesn't look right, I'll either make it myself or commission it. Like my Power Girl that has all the little hexes all through it, that I actually purchased the fabric and I made the suit myself. My Fire Bitch, I made that suit all myself. But like my old Power Girl, I'm not gonna make a leotard. It's white. That gets dirty real quick. So I'm gonna order a leotard and I'm going to put the window in it because everyone's boobs are in different spots. So you want to make sure that you have it in your boob spot, not in someone else's boob spot. So I love thrift stores because, like I said, you can repurpose things. You can find things that look similar. And fabric is expensive. A lot of times it's more expensive to make something yourself than it is to repurpose something else. So I do a lot of everything. I'm a big fan of modifying things. Like, oh, this looks like that. These are the things that I have to do to make it be that costume.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who does that. That's awesome. Is that top part of your new video shoot?
You will find out. Actually, this I shot. We were actually shooting part of one of our new music videos, Social Media Diva, today, and I did wear this top for that. So yes, and that's a fun one because we have the song, the music video, and then the photo set for it. So we've been taking photos throughout it, and then because it's Social Media Diva, there's a lot of selfies, so you can get the set to go with with the entire music video. So and then the book, of course.
So because we're in a pandemic, I know you've been doing a lot of your promotions and stuff like that for your comic book. How has shooting been going for your stuff? Like, do you find working in the studio more productive, or do you prefer going outside?
Well, it depends. Now, I live in Arizona, and we actually had one of our hottest summers in many, many years. We had over 110 days of over 110 degrees. So going outside was very difficult. We did a lot of indoor shooting. Even trying to go out of town into the mountain was ridiculously hot. We shot Fire Goes On out up in the woods, and it was roasting out there. And then I got stung by a bee in the crotch. But it's just, I do have some stuff outside, and the pandemic has made it to where people aren't there. But then it started to die down and get cooler. So now the parks are packed. So we have, like you can see behind me, we have our own studio. This isn't like green screen or anything. This is actually our studio. And from time to time, we'll get hotel rooms or rent a house and do some shooting that way as well.
That's awesome. What is more fun, making the cosplay or wearing the cosplay?
I would have to say wearing the cosplay at a con, because if I'm wearing it in the studio, I'm still working and I'm trying to make sure everything's right. Lisa's experienced that with me. Making the costume is a lot of swearing and yelling.
Yes.
What's it like making a costume? Well, let's see. There's yelling and swearing and eating and sewing your costume to your pants or your dress, and then
together
starting all over.
Have you ever rage quit on a costume?
Yes, a million times. You know how many half costumes I have? It's ridiculous.
I've rage quit on, I want to work on Elvira's costume at the end where she's doing the twirling thing with the tassels. I have the bra done. I love it. It's awesome. It's the bodysuit that working with sequins is apparently a bitch. I've learned my lesson and will never work with sequins ever again. How about you? Have you mastered the sequin thing?
No. No, I haven't. And I have not worked with sequin like that. So, I'm very curious. We need to chat. We need to have a Zoom meeting and
absolutely.
I really want to see what you're doing with this outfit.
After this, I'll probably go back to it and actually finish it.
That would be awesome.
But Cosplay Michael says, so all the cussing my dad does when we're working on mine is normal for grown-ups in cosplay? Yes. And one day when you're a big cosplayer, you're going to swear too.
Yeah. You know what? Cosplay is fun if you have the patience for it. But yeah, if you just have to choose the right costume, because if you're wanting to do something, if your skills aren't quite there yet for the overly detailed costumes, you're gonna get frustrated and you're not gonna like building the costume. That's why I've stuck with doing stuff like Elvira and Gem, is because my skills aren't quite there yet to do anything more extreme. I have not gotten into the whole armor detailed yet. How about you? Like, have you done any armored stuff yet?
I did Wonder Woman, but and I've done, like, I made cami gauntlets and that sort of thing. So I would like to do some armor stuff, but I do at least one new costume a month. And then I've got my writing and my coloring. So it's like I've got my time where I don't have as much of ability to focus on cosplay and focus on building. But I would like to do a bigger piece at some point. But it's a matter of, what do I love enough to do it? That's another thing. It's like, yeah, I want to be able to do this, but if I don't love it, I'm not going to care enough to put the time and effort to do it. So you have to love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, and going into your fire bitch, like, where did the character come through your cosplay, or was?
No, my husband Alfred Trujillo is an artist and does a lot of art everywhere, and he just draws all the time. Oh, look, here's a coffee cup. Let's draw on it. Oh, look, here's an envelope. Let's draw on it. Oh, here's a receipt. Let's draw on it. Oh, look, here's your back. Let's draw on it. He just draws on everything. And he drew this girl with this fiery hair and all that. And, he posted it online and said, hey, somebody give her a name. And Mike DeMalfo, the artist, he says, fire bitch. And we're like, and started like coming up with this backstory for her, and I was like, no, she's got to be like this social media girl. And I brought in aliens, and he's kind of looking at me like, what? And then we just have been working on it and developing it over the years. And it's so much fun to talk about like this character and what happens to her and where she goes and who her enemies are, who these other characters are that she's dealing with, and this whole alien world. I spent a good year to 2 years trying to convince people that the earth was flat because Fire Bitch lands on a flat planet. Like, I've been messing with your minds forever. You don't even know how much I'm messing with your mind. Now, that wasn't coincidence.
So you being basically Jill of all trades, you do acting.
I am a jackass of all trades.
Like, growing up, like, did you have one thing in mind that you wanted to do, or did you just want to do it all?
Well, I think we all have what we want to do. We have our hobbies, and we have like this was not supposed to be my job, and it just cosplay exploded and became my job, which is cool as hell. But then the comics, we were very fortunate and very, blessed that everyone is enjoying it like they are. So if you guys want our stories, we want to put them out. And like, the comedy kind of was an accident. It was something I enjoyed doing and something that I just did kind of another thing by accident, because I was hosting a lot of costume contests and people would just leave me there like, okay, we're going to go deliberate. We don't have anyone to do anything. So just keep everyone happy. And we're like, okay. And I kind of developed a lot of my jokes and online and public persona that way with that. And a friend of mine was like, hey, a bunch of my comedians didn't show up for this show. You want to do it? And I'm like, no. And so that's how I became a stand-up comic. And so now I do comedy as well. And then with Comic-Cons combining comedy shows, then it's like, okay, they can put me in different areas of it. So it's like, we'll have a comedy show at a Comic-Con. I'll be up there with my cosplay. Everyone else is dressed all normal. Like, you're at a Comic-Con. I'm the one dressed normal. You're the outcast. So things just kind of happen. I used to do some acting. I love acting. Cosplay is a lot like acting. And then I got hit up for a movie. So it's like, hey, you want to be in this? And I've done other movies and, shows on that ended up on YouTube. And it just kind of all developed organically.
Yeah, awesome. Were your family supportive in your career choice?
Some of my family is and some of my family isn't.
Yeah. You stick with the ones that are for your career, though, right?
One that's not like super comfortable with it. Like, it's not my problem. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna throw anyone away. It's like, I might not like your cat. Yeah. So it's all good.
I'm so sorry. I forgot my phone. But I'm excited to learn more about your Fire Bitch comic. I will actually just share the video of.
Yeah.
Let's do that. And
crazy.
Do you need the link?
No, I got it.
Okay.
So I'll do that.
Is it hot in here, or is it just me? Hello, Cara Nicole here, cosplaying my character, the super sassy, super sexy Fire Bitch, the comic book heroine of the decade. Quick recap. Created by me and Alfred Trujillo, Fire Bitch is an original comic about a social media diva with some fire power. We write, illustrate, produce, and ship it out. Now I am thrilled to bring you issue 2. The first was an amazing success with over 2,000 books shipped out. Now I am so excited to bring you continuation. Within the pages of this book, you will learn how a sexy, unlikely superhero deals with her new powers and being stranded far from home in the middle of an annihilation. If you missed the first, fear not. We have a couple of ways to help you out in this campaign. With issue 2, I am proud to bring you some of the artists that you already know and love, as well as bring you some new ones you're gonna want to follow. I've brought you some of the most alluring artwork, coolest swipes, and firepower you're gonna want to add to your collection. Don't miss out on the jeweled cover, holofoil options, and black linen cover. And let me tell you, I am bringing it with the cosplay! I wanted to be sure that I bring you the Cara flavor you love. Some of my most exciting cosplay covers and prints will be available in this campaign. I recommend you get them all. You'll want to get your friends in on this and help us achieve some of the most amazing stretch goals. Fan favorites like collector's cards, stickers, and mini prints, plus an exclusive LP by me and Alfred Trujillo. Make sure you share the campaign and help us grow. And don't forget to join my Patreon and follow us on social media.
And your Kickstarter, you have 5 days left to go. Do you find a lot, this is your second Kickstarter for Fire Bitch, right?
Yes.
And do you find the support online to be better than locally?
What do you mean?
Like, how is the support from your local Comic-Con or local comic stores?
Well, our stores are very supportive, but they're not going to be able to reach as many people as like a Kickstarter. So yeah. we're worldwide. Okay. Online as opposed to just our few stores. And because of the pandemic, we've had some stores shut down. There's some stores that, have not been able to do the business that they usually do. We haven't been able to do store signings. So those kinds of things are something to consider. You'll always do better when you reach out to the entire world than when you just reach out to your neighborhood.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan now. I love your stuff. The holofoil. What's the process with the holofoil? How did you guys come up with that idea?
Oh, we didn't. It's something that is actually a part of comic books and something that is a paper process. It actually is a paper that is foil, and then there's there you go. That is from issue 1.
Oh, so beautiful.
So you can see how it's got the rainbow effect on it, and it's got that foil effect. And that's something that the printer can do. And it's interesting with our printers, with comic book printers, that they do know their business. You can't just go to anybody and be like, print my comic book. You can, but they're not going to understand grading quality, paper stocks. You know, if you talk to printers who don't specialize in this field, they're not going to know that you need to properly score your books to fold them over, or they can crack, which would lower their grade value. Things like that. That one's black linen.
Okay.
And it's got kind of a holofoil effect, kind of there's a white underneath the image, and then there's and then you can kind of see the other, the video doesn't do it justice, but
yeah,
you can see the background kind of faded in.
It's really cool. I mean, it's like you can see the background in here, but it's hard to pick up on the video, but it's really neat how they laid it down. So she almost looks like she's floating.
Yeah.
Is what I kind of attribute it to, but it's really cool. I had to get a black linen one.
Brian K. Morris, is here. He's going to be interviewing you on Tuesday. I look forward to seeing that. But yeah, what different levels of can you get for your Kickstarter?
So I've got numerous covers, so you can start with pretty much any cover. I've got bundle packs where it's all cosplay, all the cosplay covers plus the 3 cosplay prints that we created for the campaign. You can do like I picked one of numerous pieces, like our hottest pieces for our red hot pack that has, you know, like one of Shikari's and one of Steph Wilson's and you know, the Lucio Perillo, the jeweled cover, that sort of thing all together. And then you've got your VIP, you've got your producer, your executive producer. So you can get your name in the book. You can get add-ons, like we've got a body pillowcase, and that one's really cool. So on one side, she's in her costume, and this was drawn by Torness, who is known for doing the Dakamakura pillows. And on the other side, she's naked. So like when your mom leaves the room, you can flip her over.
That's awesome.
So bad.
Hey, you know, those body pillow things have become very popular, and because I'm part of the furry community, like very, very arm's length part of it, but I do have a fursuit. One of my friends made it, and the body pillow thing has become very popular with not just the anime group, but the fursuit community as well. And I'm seeing it more and more now with cosplayers, and it's not something that I would personally do, but I'd probably end up buying one just of a cosplayer just because I'm a fan.
It's actually the art. So it's the art for her. It's not
right.
It's not me. And that's been on the agenda. Like I get people asking for it, but that's kind of that thing that, you know, if people want a product, it has to sell enough to justify your purchasing it. So like if you only sell 5, it's going to be a lot harder to buy it at a cost that's going to make all that trouble be worth it. You know, the sizing it, the dimensions, the ordering. Because when you're only buying 1 or 2, you know, it costs so much more. You have to buy like 50 or 100 of these things in order to make it worth your cost. Like, so last year's calendar, this one's kind of dirty. I put out these.
Nice. I love that. Elvira has one too, and I've been looking for it.
I love her. I've got mine in Black Cat, Power Girl, and I'm out of the Bubble Bath one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool. But, you know, you have to be able to sell enough of them to justify the purchase.
Yeah. Like the last time I saw Elvira's, it was at $25 at one point, and it went up to like $35. I'm just like, I'll wait.
Yeah, mine are 30. Mine are 35.
Okay, but
you know, and I mean, if I could buy, 10,000 of them, sure, I could sell them for $15, $20, but
so the cost of making them probably is pretty pricey, though.
Exactly. What were you saying, Lisa?
I just wanted to jump in too and mention that you forgot to mention we have prints like galore for add-ons, and there are holofoil prints, there are naughty prints, there are virgin cover prints. There's
all the prints come virgin.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So they're the actual covers. Yeah. Right. So yeah, and then so we have a lot of different things to choose from for add-ons, and just wanted to jump in there.
I'm happy that you chimed in. So, Lisa, I know you being a manager. How did you become the manager of Cara? Well, you guys met at Comic-Con, but we
literally are like sisters.
First, and then you
literally like sisters. I mean, I feel like she's family, and we when we met at Comic-Con, it was just like a friendship, and then we started talking more, and then we ended up doing C2E2, and it was just like we clicked so well that weekend that it just ended up being a really good relationship, and I really enjoy working with her.
Okay. Now, I know cosplayers tend to get a lot of bullies online. How do you, what's your way of handling the criticism from them?
Well, it really depends. So you have different types of abusers. You have people who are petty, and you're gonna get you got your cat. We need to have like a whole thing about just categories of online abusers. You have your people that will say you look like a man. Say things like, "Where's your tits?" Or just different things. Why do you have camel toe? And then you got your people that are just rude, and that'll just flat out boobs. I like humongous boobs.
And other vulgar stuff, which is why we have lots of admins.
Yes, there's people that will. It's interesting. They will actually send you porn, and you cannot do anything except block them.
Yeah.
Like, why is it that if you post, if I say your kid's butt fucking ugly, then I can get pulled for that, but you're allowed to send me pornography and I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I don't get that either. I've squared off with a couple trolls, and it was funny. There was one guy that actually made me a meme of my Jill Valentine costume and saying that I was fat, and I'm just like, hey, you made me a meme. This is awesome. And
right.
he got offended that I actually liked his meme.
Well, okay, so that's actually that's a funny one. I was doing a panel with my girl Candy, and this poor girl was there, and she said that she had made this Elsa from scratch, like hand beaded everything, gorgeous, perfect, spot on. And someone said, "You're a fat Elsa." And I just kind of like laughed, like, that's all you got? That's all you got?
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, that's something worth mentioning? So what? Who gives a crap? She made this gorgeous, perfect, glorious, amazing costume with her hands from the ground up. And that's all you got to say. Like, that is so weak sauce.
Yeah, a lot of them. Excuse me. A lot of them that do try to insult us do not come up with very good insults, and it's hilarious. I laugh it off. And there was one guy that I shot back, and because he had a picture of himself during his graduation ceremony. I'm like, well, clearly it's not from a prestigious college because you're not intelligent enough to come up with any intelligent insults. And he got offended and like blocked me. I'm like, I win.
You know, I had a guy recently, and he sent me this weird message that was like, do you want wealthy, rich, intelligent man to support you and be boyfriend? I'm like, oh, he threw in well educated. I'm like, every single word in this has a capital letter. You have 0 punctuation. Your grammar is atrocious. Tell me again how educated you are. And here's the thing, as women, ladies, this is our night, right? How many times you get, why you gotta be so rude? After they insult you, talk about you, they're nasty to you, they ask stupid questions that are none of their damn business. Why you gotta be all mean about it?
Why won't you tell me
what I do? Crawl back up your mama's snatch because you got no business out here in the world.
Yes. I know there's a lot of stupid comments like sexy cosplayers ruin cosplay, and I'm just like, we have boobs, so what?
or people that are just like, well, you know, it's always about the sexy costumes. You know, the like jealous, bitter people. And it's like, actually, I've judged quite a few, and they're always like these crazy, elaborate things, not the sexy costume. Well, but those are always men. Actually, when they take off their hand, it's a lot of times it's a woman. Well, well, shut up, because you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And I've started reading comic books because of the sexy women.
There you go.
I have to deal with too. They're like, women are like, oh, but all the women, we don't look like that, and blah 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 blah. Okay, but look what the men got. Like, look at He-Man. These guys. Okay, look at anybody that Rob Liefeld drew, and tell me a man can compete with that. I mean, I think actually I did a meme with Yaya Han and one of Rob Liefeld's feet. And it was like the way that the boot covers were at the time, where it looked like the weird hoof. And yeah, that was about right. That's because he can't draw feet, you know. But like these guys have muscles on top of muscles, like
that don't exist.
They don't exist. You don't have that many muscles, you know.
Yeah.
You know what else? Comic book characters, instead of having individual teeth, have like one giant like tooth. I can't compete with that. Let me get my Crest white strips. Maybe I can put it all together so I can have like one line of
right.
Like we're not gonna look exactly like the characters that we cosplay, because a lot of them are pixelated. If I'm gonna end up looking like a pixelated character, I myself am trying too hard.
Right? So Big Daddy Dave Production says, Willow, you always been awesome ever since Blog TV. Trolls need to read books and collect experience. Open boobs is so overrated.
I have been broadcasting for the better part of 10 years online, so this has been my hobby for a long time. I love it, and I love meeting all the people that I meet, and this just makes my day even better when I get to meet people like you, Cara and Lisa. You guys are amazing. What you guys do on a daily basis, one of these days I will get a professional studio and be able to make better videos, but you guys inspire me. I like this. Like, I like meeting people who inspire me.
Well, you're doing great. You know, you've got a beautiful smile. You've got a great voice. You're lovely on camera. And you're just a pleasure to be around. Lisa, over here being all quiet. Let me tell you, that girl is a hustler. She's good with the fans. She's good with the customers. She's good on the business end. And it's really interesting. And a lot of times, I'm going to plug her here for a minute. But when people hire someone to help them run their Kickstarters, which Lisa is up for sale, I'm taking bids, $5. But a lot of times they might be able to get you on a show or do some interviews or whatever, but Lisa can do graphics as well. And that sort of thing is very, very important to have good graphics and good designs. So she's available for those types of things.
Yeah.
And those are things you don't think about. Having that extra mouthpiece, like Alfred and I have each other, but we're always around each other. So, it's a little bit different, but having that outside person that you can, work off of and get advice from and spitball with, she's fantastic for that. And she's very good with the ideas. And she also knows how to get product. And that's another thing. It's like people will be like, oh, you should do this stretch goal. And they don't understand how much that stretch goal is going to cost or how many you have to have of that stretch goal. You also have, those people that'll be like, hey, I've got this machine, I can do it myself. And they don't realize you can't do it yourself. When you're getting this many, the time to do it, and they realize, wow, this is a huge undertaking. But Lisa can find you someone that can make that on more of an industrial level.
All of that is true. What she said.
Now, you probably work with many other clients. Do you work with other cosplayers as well, Lisa, or any other entertainers?
Currently, no other cosplayers. I mostly work with indie comic book artists and do promoting for their Kickstarters. I just wrapped up a couple of things for the Sapphire Spectre, which was really cool. Cara did a cosplay for that, which was really stellar. She just nailed the character. That was a lot of fun for shooting. It looked like for her. And, it's just been difficult because of the climate and being able to generate money. But there is a need for someone like me with my skills and being able to tell people, no, do not do X, Y, and Z on your Kickstarter because you will not get what you need. No, you are priced too low. No, you are priced too high. You will never meet your thing. It's just a sounding board. Somebody who is removed from the situation but has the experience to be able to tell you, hey, what are you thinking? Cara calls me and she's like, hey girl, what do you think of this? And I'll be like, no, you're nuts. And she's like, I already know that. Tell me what you want me to do.
So you kind of keep her grounded in so many ways.
Actually, she keeps me grounded more often than I think that I keep her grounded, but I keep her on schedule.
Okay.
That's for sure.
So when Cara, when your brain is like up in the clouds, does Lisa kind of pull you down, or do you try to bring her up on your level?
I think it's both. We kind of do a little bit of both. We can spitball back and forth, and kind of go over things again and find where we need to be.
Well, even just personally. When we're having a day, we call each other and we check in. So that's where the it's more than just business when it comes to being a manager,
Well, and one of the things that people are missing out on with this is is everybody wants to avoid having a conversation. And I'm sorry, but you have got to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Even Lisa and I will open up a Zoom so we can look at each other and talk like people. Because when you're texting, when you're messaging, when you're emailing, a lot gets missed. You don't catch the things you need to catch. You're not thinking about things properly. You have time. You skim instead of read. This way you're having a conversation. You can actually look at somebody and make sure that everyone's on the same page. And sometimes it really helps to put you into the right headspace that you need to be in. And a lot of people, I just don't feel comfortable with talking. You got to talk to somebody. You got to talk to people. That's fine.
Especially if you're a cosplayer.
Yeah. If you were at a con and talk, you can't just be like, you know what, don't come to my booth. Just message me on Facebook or DM me on Instagram. And I'll just leave your print out by the bathroom. Like, you're not going to do that.
Oh my God, no.
You have to talk to people. Talk to you. So get used to it. Suck it up, girly.
One of the stupidest things that I see at conventions are people who sit there at their booths and they're on their phones and they'll look up periodically at the people walking by. And I'm just like, I will actually come up to you and go, hi, how are you? Just to be super obnoxious.
But you know what? That's what they want. That's what they expect. So my thought is don't go up to them. Let them tank at that show and then go home crying saying, cosplay sucks. Like, this is so stupid. Like, nobody wants to spend any money and nobody wants to do anything. And it's like, no, you just didn't engage anybody.
Yeah.
And I see artists do that too. And I will tell an artist, look, no, up here, buddy, stand up, look at people, talk to people.
Yeah.
Right. And it's, a lot of times when people are creators, they want to be a creator. They don't want to be a business person, but you can't live off of being a creator unless you are a business person or unless you have someone doing it for you. And that's an option too, but that's going to eat into your business, and that's fine. If you're not comfortable being out there, get someone like Lisa. Get Lisa to be that voice for you that can talk on your behalf. Having help is nothing to be ashamed of. I have help. I have Lisa. I've got Shannon. I've got Alfred. Alfred has us. We're a team. We've got other people on our team as well. And it really saves us emotionally and, time-wise to be able to do all that, to have someone else to help with that. It's really hard when Alfred's trying to draw a commission and I've got to color a commission and people want to take my picture and they want to, chat, and you got to sell stuff. You need those extra set of hands.
Oh, that was me, like, during C2E2. Cara was in front of the booth and I literally was nonstop selling her prints, and running her table. And even though I was working for the other company that I was with, I was still working for her too, because we were promoting the Lady Death Last Stand. So
well, that was weird because you were selling my stuff and I was selling their stuff.
Yeah, it worked out in the long run.
Yeah.
So, but it was really cool. But it was interesting because she was coming in from Hawaii and only had like a portion of her prints. So I'm like, oh, she doesn't have this one. And then I'm like flipping through her boxes. I'm like, wait a minute, she has this one too, and this one too. And so we were able to put some extras out, and, she's just doing her thing. And I'm like keeping the ledger, and, it worked out perfect.
You guys need a body double for when you need to go to the bathroom. Put up the cardboard cutout.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Like, do you when you're at conventions, do you go all out for your booth? Like, have the photo booth? Like, how is, like, do you make it like a set?
No, because we only have so much space.
Okay.
So it really depends on how much space we have. We do what we can because we usually have art, cosplay, books, And if I can have room to do like a photo set, I will. But a lot of times we just don't have it, so I'll come out of the booth and work that way. Every show is different. Every show is very, very different. Some shows I can't even get out. I'll be like in the middle of a line, and then I got to go all the way around, and or if I'm by myself, then it's kind of like, okay, let's take a picture. You come over we'll just kind of do one of these numbers.
You did a cosplay calendar. Like, how often do you do these calendars? Do you do one for every year? Or?
Yeah, okay. Every year, and they're 13 months. Okay. So that when you're in December and you have that thing that you need the January calendar for, and you never have it because they haven't come out yet, you have that January.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've done. I'll plug this. I was overseeing a calendar a couple years ago, and I dropped mine. But I dressed up as Elvira. We did a boudoir version, and it went really well. Although I kind of was a little iffy on, I think I should have gone and made the calendar online rather than doing it locally, because I probably would have saved a little bit of money. But I'm going to support local business, and so I did it. We sold most of them. We did pretty well at conventions, but I just like the interactions with people. It wasn't there, and kind of soured my taste on it for a little bit. But all in all, it was a fun experience. So I'm hoping to do it again later on, but with a little bit of with a fresher mind.
Well, I think that's really important to, don't let anything get to you. There are some shows that are really, really good, and I'll sell a ton of prints. And then there's other shows where I'll sell like all books. And then there's other shows where I don't sell really anything, but I get tips. There's people that maybe they want to be supportive, but they don't want to take product home. So, it really all depends. You could have a book full of cosplays for the same price as one print of one cosplay, and people want the print instead of the book. Or maybe they want all the books. Maybe they want the comics, or, maybe they want original art. Every show is different. Every community is different.
Yeah. And I think it's a little bit different in the States than it is in where I'm at. But I know that with Winnipeg and our conventions, like we have a big convention in October that I can sell prints at, or sell calendars at, and I can sell them up pretty good. But then you get the odd person coming up to you, well, that's too expensive. $15 is too expensive. How about 10 or $5? No, 15 is the price because it costs me X amount of money to get it printed.
You can throw in a thing like, what? How about I'll throw in this free print for you?
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to. Where is Winnipeg?
Road trip.
Canada.
So you're above Minnesota, don't you know?
Don't you know?
Don't you know? So I am like always. I really want to do more shows. I've done Corner Brook in Newfoundland twice.
Okay.
And I loved it so much, but I really want to go other places. I did talk to some of the people up in Edmonton and the Saskatoon. And I don't know, they're kind of like, but I'm like, I would go do a store signing in Regina because I want to go to Rulio because I want to go on that corner gas tour.
You want to experience Regina?
I want to experience Regina.
It's apparently boring, but
I love that stuff. I went and someone had brought up about like conventions and what are some of your favorites. Smallville Comic-Con is in Hutchinson, Kansas. Well, it's technically it's Smallville once a year, and it's this small town in the middle of nowhere, Kansas. And we've driven all through there. We actually drove up through Lebanon, and it was Lebanon, right, Alfred?
Yeah.
And from Supernatural, the middle of the 48 states, and there is actually a monument there, and there's a spider that lives in their fake Bible in their little church house that's like 4 seats. And there is a town, and people don't know there is a Lebanon, Kansas that is just like in Supernatural. And I was shooting my Castiel there, and the people there are kind of like looking at me and like, what the heck's going on? And they wanted pictures and ended up talking about us in their local newspaper and all these things. And I love that kind of stuff, like driving through middle of nowhere, checking out these little towns and seeing what's going on. I love it. Love it. So,
I see like headlines: cosplayer Cara Nicole visits Lebanon, Kansas.
Right? Well, that's even my dogs came from Tyrone, Oklahoma. And that was this tiny little town in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, where I almost ran over this dog. And we've gone back a few times, just driving through to other places. I love small towns. I love the communities. And so, yeah, I want to do that whole area with, Regina and Rulio. And, I want to go to Saskatoon. I mean, who doesn't want to go to a place called Saskatoon? Isn't that just adorable?
It's very flat, so be prepared. there's nothing there.
It's okay. I'm all for it. I'm very much for it. I'm into it. I really am.
Winnipeg isn't bad. Like we have, I give my city a lot of flack because of the stupidity of the people that live here, but my city is very pretty. There are places in my city that I love going just to look out at the buildings. I'm a huge architecture fan, so we have a lot of old architecture, and so I just like looking at all the old buildings and all the great stuff that used to be what our buildings used to. I live in an area that is over 100 years old, so I like looking at all the character homes. I'm not a fan of the fact that they've demolished a lot of the older buildings for the new skyscrapers that are coming, and I'm just like, all it is just boxes, boxes with windows, and just there's nothing to them. I prefer the old architecture.
I agree. And I love traveling and seeing all of that. And it's a shame that sort of thing is happening, that they're tearing it down, but you have to keep maintaining it. And then there's the cost of maintaining it. I wish that people respected that architecture.
Oh, absolutely. The Wolseley area in my city is one of the oldest places in Manitoba, and we've seen several of the older mansions get torn down because there's nobody looking after them, and there were people trying to save this one place, and the city just said, yeah, okay, let's let it go, let's let it get torn down. There's nobody available to take care of these places anymore.
Yeah, and that's terrible. And that's actually happening all over the world. I was actually just watching a thing about some places in Italy where they're selling homes for $1.
Wow.
You have to come in and you have to pay all the taxes and you have to rehabilitate them. And in many cases, you have to live there. In some cases, they'll pay you for X amount of years to open a business in these towns.
Yeah. I'm hearing birds in the background. Lisa, is that your birds, Cara?
It's one bird. So we used to have 3 and 2 died. And I was like, they just chat at each other all the time. But no, it's just the one. I'm like, how does one bird, like, you have been treated with the bird?
What kind of bird?
Like, he's a little parrot tweet. And yeah, he's just the loudest dude. Tell him, Alex.
He wants to join in. He wants to join in on the conversation.
Very social, and he's incredibly, incredibly cute. So
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to ignore the like all the Kickstarters posts that are coming up. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to ignore you guys.
Good.
But yeah, Fire Bitch has 5 days to go. You are at $60,674. Let's see if you guys can.
That's Canadian. We're actually at $47,816 USD.
Right. Sorry.
That's okay.
But let's see if you guys can get your goal by the end of the 5 days.
Yeah. Well, we've got at 500 backers, we have a Danielle Gransall lenticular card.
Ooh.
So it's like a naughty nice lenticular card. And we have just a lot of really cool stretch goals. And we still have a 50,000 stretch goal that we have not reached yet, that we have not posted yet either. So that's a super special one. We also, you're going to get a CD with our album, with the music that we wrote, plus the music that we got for this. So we've got some stuff that's original and some cover music as well. That's all going to be on a CD in a digipack. So you get the art and the CD, and that all comes with your book as well. So, awesome. So Shannon says the bird is mad because he hasn't been there in 4 days. I think that's right. Shannon talks to him every day. She's here, and and then he sits there like when you're not there, he's all making that kind of noise, and then when you talk to him, he just sits there looking at you like you're stupid. Thanks, Alex. Yeah. So you can also get add-ons for this, and if you missed issue 1, you can get issue 1 as an add-on with a special cover that we made for this campaign. So that's incredibly exciting. And that way, if you missed it, you can get issue 1 as well as an add-on. I'm trying to think.
What would you rate this? Like, for what age? Is it mature?
So I would say it would be a PG-13.
Okay.
We have some, we have some innuendo and some references, but it's not, I wouldn't call it an adult comic, except for certain covers.
Right. Covers aside.
Covers aside. Yeah, I would call it a PG-13.
That's good. That's good to know. Yes, absolutely.
So there's that. But we have we have a jeweled cover, which is super cool. Let me see if I can pull that one out. We have some
and it's holofoil on top of that.
Yes, it's holofoil and it's jeweled. So what that means is, I've got a couple. So this is the Lucio Perillo.
Okay.
See what the holofoil is, and Lucio Perillo is a very popular artist. But let me see if I can find that jeweled cover as well. Oh, Shikari. Got our Shikari. Woo woo.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, and that's a 3-pack. We also have homage covers from different things.
So there's actually 35 main covers, and then there's additional add-on covers in the add-on section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So take a look at that.
Yeah, so there you go.
So these are actual Swarovski crystals. And Shannon Glarnow is an actual master jeweler. She is a certified jeweler. And they're crystals that have been adhered to, and this is just a mock-up, but that gives you an idea of what it's going to look like.
That looks awesome.
How much does something like that go for?
So that one goes for $50, but I mean, Swarovski crystals are not cheap.
No, they're not.
And they are being discontinued.
Really?
So this is possibly one of your last chances to even get anything with these crystals, period. So I don't know. There are other types of crystals available, but Swarovski is a very particular name brand.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know a couple of years ago, working for Starbucks, they came out with a mug that has Swarovski crystals on it, and it was like $80 for this cup. Yeah. And I'm like, that's crazy.
They're high-dollar crystals. Bodybuilders use them on their suits as well.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they are not, they're not cheap, and they're not easy to come by either. Like, you have to get them from a distributor of Swarovski. It's like a whole thing. Like, I had no idea the extent of these. Like, you have to be a jeweler or have a specialty license or reason for even purchasing these. Like, they won't let you just buy them. So if you're just buying them like Amazon or whatever, you're buying it from someone who has the ability to purchase them. So it's crazy. It's really nuts. So yeah. But we have cosplay covers. Like I said, we've got music videos. There's so much with this. And with her, it's a lot of fun because, everyone loves their Supergirl and their Batgirl and their Wonder Woman and their female superheroes. But all of these women were created in a different time. So Fire Bitch is a modern day superhero. Could you imagine if Supergirl had the internet and used it and was, and had a Facebook account? Where's her Facebook account? Where's her Instagram? And this is the kind of girl who would have a Patreon or an OnlyFans. And then she accidentally gets these superpowers, and they have to convince her to use them to save their planet from attacks from another alien race. And so the first issue, there is a lot of like mayhem ensuing from her not knowing how to use her powers. And that's another thing. I mean, she's not a professional fighter. She doesn't have this secret background of knowing how to fight. So she's got to figure it out. And what kind of fighting technique would you expect from a girl who is just your regular, average, ordinary, chick posting to Instagram 20 times a day?
You guys have no idea how true this is. As a superpower of blowing stuff.
Yes,
there are days where I'll be on bar at work. I'll like being a barista, and I'll knock stuff over constantly. Whipped cream. I swear to God, making whipped cream, I'll check the lids to make sure that the O-rings are in there, and they will still explode.
Yes, well, tell everyone about how you make whipped cream explode all over yourself.
I have pictures. It doesn't look good. I often compare my job to that of someone working in the porn industry and coming home all sticky, and it's there are days. Tell me more. My friends have now dubbed me the Raspberry Princess because the one story that I'm trying to make a drink, and I go to pump the raspberry, and it just like it hasn't been cleaned in a couple days, I guess, and the raspberry syrup just goes straight down right to my boob, and I'm just like, fuck. So I'm smelling like raspberry for the rest of the day.
Oh, you poor thing.
So yeah, and it's not even a good smelling raspberry. It's like fake. It's disgusting. It doesn't even smell like raspberry. So yeah, it smelled like one of those scratch and sniff stickers, or the from the 80s, the toys that smelled like raspberry. That's what you got. And even like our syrups just get everywhere, and if you're not putting I love my friends. They're awesome. But yeah, this is my job. I come home sticky almost every day, and it's not pretty.
That's right.
But yeah, that, you know, working at Starbucks is a kind of a disgusting job. I wish that one day I to get out of retail so that I don't have to come home sticky.
Well, you can go into something else and still come home sticky.
That's true. That's true. Radar is always jammed with raspberry. Yes. That damn Lone Star. But yeah, like, speaking of weird jobs, like, I'm sure you guys have had weird jobs, and do you have a job that you do outside of what you're doing right now, or no?
No, there's no time. This has been my full time for quite a few years now, since I want to say 2013.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just like, you can't get 3 weekends off a month to go to a con. You know, you can't build and promote and write and color and do all that and work 40 hours a week on top of that. So
yeah,
you know, but yeah, it's, you know, especially when you're traveling far away and maybe a show's Thursday through Sunday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you just cannot get that time off of a day job. I was doing little side jobs for a while. I used to work catering for a little while. I did some of that, and I always ended up at the Phoenix Open, which is like a huge golf tournament. And I always ended up working the beer bar. So I would end up just head to toe covered in beer every single day. And I would work the Barrett Jackson car auction.
Okay.
You know, working some bars there. So, I mean, I did that because that was really good. That was really good money for like a while. And so that was like 2 or 3 weeks that, you know, I would take to do those things. But with the amount of conventions, it was just so much that it just took over all of our time, all of my time. So, you know.
Yeah. So Christopher's contact drunk.
Right. I was afraid I was going to get pulled over and get a DUI. Like, I haven't been drinking. I'm just there again.
Give me a breathalyzers, officers.
Like I've seen how hard the beer. I don't want to call them beer wenches. That's totally disrespectful. But the beer ladies, I see how hard they work, and I could not do that job. I don't know. It's just, it looks like it's a fun job, but I don't think I could ever do it.
Well, I didn't deal with customers. I literally just stayed in the back pouring beer all day long. It's a very gross job.
Yeah.
So, you know, paid wet beer shirt winner. I never won that one. What about you, Lisa? Tell us some of your dirty job secrets.
I don't know. Let's see. Dirty job secrets. I actually had to work 2 jobs for a long time, right out of college, and that took a toll on me. And quite frankly, I look back at it now and I'm like, what the hell? When did I sleep? And I was going out on the weekends. I'm like, I'm old now. I'm like, I enjoy my sleep. You know, I enjoy my quiet time at home. I'm like, screw everyone else. Bye. Stay away from me. You know, but for my dirty job secrets, I really don't have too much. other than had a very interesting job that I'm not really going to say too much about because it was not, it was just interesting. Let's put it that way. It paid very well, but I got to dress up a lot in corsets.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna rat Lisa out on this one. So over at C2E2, she had to paint my boobs. Every day we would
that too.
Paint me. So we'd be in the bathroom, she'd paint my boobs.
Yeah, and that was like the first time that Cara and I actually hung out, and she was like, "Hey, I need you to paint my boobs." I'm like, "What?" That wasn't in the job description. I'm like, all right, whatever, boobs.
See, here in Winnipeg, one of my good friends is a body painter, and every so often I'll go to her booth and I'll like slap down like $40 or $50 and just be like, paint me. Do something.
Yeah.
So yeah, and she's done several different things. She's done like a Valkyrie on my chest. I was wearing a very low cut shirt, and I slapped down $40. I'm like, paint me up, do something. And then she's done steampunk stuff. Like I was wearing a steampunk outfit, and I wanted something cool, and so she did like a spider web with a lock and key and on my back, and
that's
so
cool.
Yeah, her name's Kim Brennan. She does an amazing job. She's a very talented body painter and henna artist, and just one of these days I will have her on my show. But yeah, if you guys ever come to Winnipeg, and you'll meet her hopefully. And she does travel to the States, and she has won awards, and she goes to Vegas for the body painting exhibitions out there. So it's
right on.
It's pretty cool. I know there's one comment here. I have Cara got pulled over in cosplay. Do you have any stories of you actually interacting with the public in cosplay?
Oh yeah, a lot of times I just even getting out to get to an event, people say, "Where do you wear your cosplays the most?" And it was Circle K. You know, costume. Yeah, give me a drink, give me a snack. You know, so yeah, I was always in costume at the Circle K. So you know, there's that. Okay, so funny story. I had an event that I needed to go to, but I was doing an interview in costume before the event, and I was on the other side of town, so I didn't really have time to, you know, go from one side of town home, change, and then go to the other side of town for this event. So I'm like, where can I change? You know, like those bathrooms are small, and I don't want to get my costume on the floor. And night, Garrett. Thank you for joining us. So my other friend was like, "What about that Alfred guy? Doesn't he live over there?" So I'm like, "Oh yeah." So I message Alfred, and I'm like, "Can I change at your house?" And he was like, "Okay." And yeah. So that kind of started our friendship before our relationship.
That's always I was part of a cosplay group about almost 10 years ago. Wow. And we're all a bunch of Batman fans. So there was one day we were doing a music video, and it's on YouTube. We were doing a music video, and we went out and filmed in one of the parks nearby, and the cops stopped us. And they all wanted pictures of us. So here we are, big group of cosplayers in Batman costumes
with the police. Nice.
So yeah, that's and then so yeah, that was interesting. Yeah. Police Cosplayers love cosplayers, until you're walking around the city with in armor and weapons.
Yes.
Then the SWAT team will come and stop you.
Well, it used to be easier. It used to be no big deal to just go around with your weapons, and now they've made it a little more difficult. I was in New York and I was at an event. It was a cosplay event. And, we all grab each other's weapons. You know how it is. It's like, oh, what do you got? And I pulled this guy's gun out and I was like, this is heavy.
Oops.
He had painted an orange tip on a real gun.
Oops.
Right?
Wow.
Oh, yes, I greeted guests at the airport wearing a miniskirt army uniform for conventions.
Nice.
Yeah. So Christopher says they're carrying a sword, they stop you.
Yeah.
They just want to see your sword.
Yeah. I think there's a story of a Deadpool cosplayer in the States, or was that Toronto, going on one of the trains with this sword, and he got stopped by the police. So we can't do that anymore, people. But no, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
You guys are always welcome to stop by my show and hang out and talk shop. And Cara, it was a pleasure meeting you. I'm going to end the show here because I'm going to geek up for the rest of the night. You guys have a great night, and can't wait to see you guys and chat with you again.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
Good luck with the next 5 days of your campaign, and hopefully you make your goals. And I'm definitely gonna purchase one of your comics. So it's
awesome. Thank you.
And everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate everything. Thanks for being so responsive and interacting with us, and also being very, very, very nice to us. You guys all have a nice night, a great night.
You too. Thank you.